What's good, everybody? What's good, man? Welcome back, man, to another edition of Giants Conversations, man. We'll be talking all New York Giants football, man. The 2023 season is here, and we are ready to get rock and rolling as the New York Giants, are in training camp, and they are in the mix of getting ready for the 2023 regular season. So, that being said, how's everybody doing today? Good morning to everybody, and hope everybody's doing well. And appreciate y'all for stopping by and coming in and hollering at your boy NYG22 as we talk Giants conversations. Got a couple topics lined up for the night, for the day, but before I do that, like I always like to do, I want to check into my chat, check into my audience, man. How y'all doing, man? No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. Again, Hyatt will be a star for us. We're gonna get into Jalen Hyatt most definitely, man. He is making a lot of noise in training camp, man. We definitely gonna get into that. Happy Sunday to you too, man. What's good, man? Appreciate y'all. Shelton, man, what's good? D-Dan Shelton, what up, fellas? Let's talk some Giants. Let's do it, man. Let's get into it, man. Lots to talk about. So let me give you the rundown. Jalen Hyatt is most definitely making a lot of noise in camp. So we definitely going to be talking about that. Evan Neal suffered a concussion. Little bit of concern there, man. Hopefully he'll be all right. There are some other little injury concerns for the Giants. So we're going to talk about that, man. That's one thing that has always been a bugaboo for the Giants, if you may say, is the injuries. We're going to get into the preseason, man. Friday, man. August 11th, man. Giants Lions. They will be having joint practices coming up this week. So definitely want to keep an eye on that. And let's talk a little NFC East, man. A little bit of NFC East talk, man, as our division rivals seem to always be speaking on us, man, putting the Giants down, man. But we already know we are in it to win it, man. The NFC East is for the taking, man. I don't think Philadelphia is going to run away with this division this year. Giants, Washington, Cowboys, even if you may say, all have a shot at this division, man. So we're going to break down the NFC East a little bit in depth here today, man. So how y'all doing, man? Let's kick it off, man. Let's get right into it, man. So training camp is here, man. And the big noise out of training camp has been Darren Waller. But we've been talking about Darren Waller. Everybody knows Darren Waller is a top 5 tight end in the NFL, regardless of his injuries, regardless of his past over there with the Raiders. We already know that he's a top 5 tight end. But I asked the other day to my brothers, Big Pat Sports Talk and Coach Ed, can Jalen Hyatt be wide receiver 1? Not target number 1, actually wide receiver 1. We know the number 1 target is going to be Darren Waller. That's a given. If you want to throw Saquon Barkley in there, that's a given too. But out of these receivers, is it Jalen Hyatt? Can it be Jalen Hyatt? Can he be the number 1 guy? Now, in practice, Jalen Hyatt has been lighting it up. I mean, he's catching 50-yard touchdown passes. I mean, just burning receivers, and Daniel Jones throwing it up to him in double coverage. He's coming down with touchdowns, man. This kid is lighting it up, almost a touchdown or two damn near every practice. His speed is a given. What people was knocking him on was his route running. That does not seem to be the case here with Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt can run routes. Now, is his route running as crisp or as smooth as a guy like Sterling Shepard? No. Is he going to be that guy, that's going to route you up? No. But remember, he's a young player and he is a rookie coming into this league, and he has the ability to grow. And what I mean by grow is honing in on his skills, his route running, his recognition of plays, you know what I'm saying? His ability to find, as they say, the soft spots in zone coverage. Those are things that Jalen Hyatt is going to have to work on in order to be a number one. But for this Giants team, his skill set, I mean, it reads number one wide receiver to me. He's fast. He's athletic. You know, he can high point the ball. He has good hands. You learn. You get him to learn some route running ability. You know what I'm saying? And this is the type of explosive player that we've been looking for. This is the type of guy that people are going to have to pay attention to. You're not just going to go out there and forget about Jalen Hyatt. When this kid gets on the field, week 1 versus Dallas, he's going to make some noise. I guarantee you, man, because this is what it's about, man. This is what we've been looking for. Some people said OBJ. Can he be OBJ? No, I don't think so. Can he be something similar? Possibly. You know what I'm saying? But whatever he is, he's Jalen Hyatt. So he's going to be able to, you know, carve his own niche in this league, so to speak, man. I'm not looking for him to be OBJ. That's high expectations. You know what I'm saying? OBJ took the league by storm in his rookie season. Not expecting Jalen Hyatt to do that. What I am expecting him to go out there and do is learn and improve as the season goes along. Let's get to a couple comments. Sean says, with his speed and him being coached up on route running, he could be bigger than OBJ for us. Possibly. I mean, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? OBJ's career kind of got, I feel, soured a little bit because of his injury history. If OBJ was healthy the majority of his career, I mean, he probably would be more of a receiver than what we're talking about right now. But the injuries kind of downed his career a little bit. But I don't want Jalen Hyatt to be OBJ. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I want Jalen Hyatt to stay humble. I want Jalen Hyatt to stay in his lane. And I want Jalen Hyatt to be a New York Giant for his career and not let this media get the best of him, which is what OBJ did. You know what I'm saying? So let this kid stay humble. Let this kid learn, you know, and let him grow into this system the right way. You know, and I think he can do that, man. This season, perhaps. You know, some people were saying maybe 2 or 3 years out. I know that's something that Pat was saying, but I think possibly this season he could possibly step into that role, you know, but we'll see, man. We shall see. Anybody see that? Yeah, literally look as fast as his speed is almost video game like, y'all. He moves so fast it looks like it's sped up. And I mean, this is it, man. This is what we've been looking for. And remember, man, this is a young team, man. So this core group of players, they're going to be able to grow together, you know, for the next 2 or 3 years, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully, you know, they can work something out with Saquon, man, and he'd be a part of that mix too. Same shot. OBJ who? Yeah, I hear you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to make a lot of fans forget about OBJ, you know what I'm saying? But OBJ, we can't knock what he did here in New York, you know what I'm saying? Broke rookie records. And I think OBJ shouted him out. Was like, man, don't break my rookie records, man, because they know the potential that this kid has. And when you have Darren Waller on the field, you got to pay attention to Darren Waller. Yeah, Hyatt's going to eat. Slayton's going to eat. Paris Campbell, you know, Sterling Shepard, whoever else, man. You know what I'm saying? Barkley and DJ should feast with the run yards. Yeah, it's going to open up a lot in the run game. You know, you're going to have these cornerbacks and safeties playing off a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be afraid of that speed that the Giants are going to be putting on the field, man. So definitely looking for a better performance from Saquon Barkley, from Daniel Jones, man. And just to take some of the pressure off those guys, man. I mean, they carried this team last year, man. No question about it. DJ and Saquon was the Giants' offense for the better part of the year, you know. Can't knock what Slayton did, man. That's my guy. Y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Darius Slayton fan. I think he's going to have a big year this year. He could possibly have 1,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, his problem was drops. And Darius Slayton has definitely worked to improve on that, man. And by reports, per Big Blue View, he has not dropped a pass this preseason or this training camp. So let's hope that continues for Darius Slayton, man. But I'm super excited for Jalen Hyatt, man. And I think this kid is the real deal. Remember, he was touted as a first-round pick for a lot of the offseason. And then he went to the combine, and I don't think he ran as well during the combine or whatever the situation was. And a lot of receivers jumped over him ahead in the combine. But Jalen Hyatt was definitely in this conversation for a first-round pick, and to get him in the third, and you possibly get a number one receiver, possibly. You know, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I see the potential, and it's obvious out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's tearing up the defense, and the New York Giants defense is not like, you know, a trash defense. You know what I'm saying? We have a very good defense. We have good corners, good secondary players, man. And for Jalen Hyatt, you know, just to be going out there, man, toasting those guys, it definitely says something about the rookie, man, and his talent. Hyatt taking the safety deep, Waller being a big target in the middle of the field, taking the linebackers out the box. Jones and Barkley and Jones having room to run. Crazy, yeah. They're going to have room to run this year. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have room to run. I don't see a lot of 8-man boxes like last season. Can wide receivers be humble? Yeah, they can. You know what I'm saying? Marnie Toomer was very humble. You know, one of the best wide receivers in Giants history. You know what I'm saying? Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks, those were pretty much humble guys. I know Cruz had a little bit of swag, man, but, you know, we've had some humble receivers. OBJ, Saquon Barkley is humble. I mean, we have humble stars. Daniel Jones, you know, Darren Waller. These guys are not real chirpy with the media, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate that, man, because the media, you know how it is. They'll take and spin things and have the Giants paint the Giants in a bad light. You know what I'm saying? They did it with OBJ. They tried to do it with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, who he is, didn't bite. He didn't let that narrative, go that far. So, I mean, he was able to, you know, spin it back in his favor, man. I appreciate that for Saquon. So we can have a humble wide receiver, no mess. I do believe that. And I do believe Jalen Hyatt, with Brian Dable, with Mike Kafka, you know, working under this system with guys like leaders like DJ and Saquon Barkley on the team, you know, who are humble guys, you know, lunch pail type of players. I do believe that Jalen Hyatt can be that player. Most definitely, man. Had DJ late to throw. It ain't going. I think Daniel Jones is going to have chemistry with these guys from that starting week one. I mean, you're already seeing the chemistry with Waller, with Hyatt. He's then had it with Slayton. He's developing it with Paris Campbell as well. So you are going to see you're already seeing a confident Daniel Jones. Let me talk about Daniel Jones for a minute. Because, you know, I was one in the past to doubt Daniel Jones, like a lot of fans. But Daniel Jones, when he has confidence, is a dangerous quarterback. Because when you're processing fast, remember that was always the knock on Daniel Jones, his processing speed. He's not making quick decisions. He's holding on to the ball. He's what they call it, burping the baby, you know, all this and all that. He ain't doing that no more. You see him out there burping the baby. You see him out there holding on to the football. You know, you see him out there not getting through his progressions. This is a different dude, man. And he's going to be ready to light up the league this year because he's got some weapons to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that kid, Hyatt, is definitely going to help him. You heard Jalen Hyatt say, we want to make it easier for Saquon. You can throw Daniel Jones in that mix too, making it easier for Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones can take shots now and not have to worry about the ball getting intercepted because the receivers ain't running the right routes or they just ain't getting separation. You know, long gone. David Sills, man. You know, cats like Marcus Johnson, man. I don't want to see players like that, man, with no disrespect, but disrespect. You see, if you understand, no disrespect, but disrespectfully, you're not that good. You know what I'm saying? From a football standpoint, and it's just better served that we got actual receivers on this team that can do their thing, man, and make life easier for our 2-star players, man. DJ Saquon, you know, and Darren Waller. No reason Slayton doesn't get close to 1,000 if he'd align and DJ stay relatively healthy. Yeah, and we're gonna talk about the health too, because that is a concern. But I do think Slayton can get 1,000 yards. He had 750 last season, and he didn't even play in all the games. Remember the first couple games he was benched. I guess he was in the doghouse for some reason. I don't know why, but this kid can easily get 1,000 yards, and I do expect him to get close to that, if not top that. Here's why. Darius Slayton is, when it all comes down to it, despite what we got now at the receivers, that's Daniel Jones's boy. You know what I'm saying? They came in the league together. You remember that rookie season? It was him and Slayton. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of the focus was on Daniel Jones. That's the quarterback. But people forget about the rookie season that Darius Slayton had. So, and he was not dropping passes. I think he only had 2 drops that year, if my memory serves me correctly. So let's not act like this guy can't get close to 1,000 yards. And if he does get 1,000 yards, cool. If he doesn't, that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? Another humble guy that just wants to go out there and play football for the New York Giants. Y'all got to respect that. You got to respect people wanting to be on the Giants. You know what I'm saying? Darius Slayton could have got a contract from another team, you know, probably more money, but he came back to the Giants. You know what I mean? So Saquon could have held out. He came, signed his franchise tag, signed a 1-year deal to come back to play for the Giants. That says a lot about the direction that this franchise is going in now. Because people before didn't want to come to the Giants. They hated Dave Gettleman. They hated the way that the players here were being treated. You know, the owner, John Mara, in the business too much. You know, Joe Shane and Brian Dable have restructured this organization damn near in 1 season. Now players want to come play here. You're seeing Cole Beasley's and James Robinson's, you know, veterans coming to sign with the Giants to play for this team because they know we are ascending and we are coming for what's ours, and that's the Lombardi Trophy. Let's get it. Let's go. Appreciate y'all turning up, man. Please hit that like button. Please share and subscribe to the channel. You know, free content. I do this for fun. I do this out of passion because I love the game. I love football. I love the New York Giants. So please hit that like button. Please support the show. Appreciate y'all. Let's talk Giants. Sheldon says potential #1 receiver at a 3rd round salary is a steal. Damn right. That's what I'm talking about. And you mentioned it there, the salary. What's a 3rd rounder make? Somebody tell me. It ain't much. If by NFL standards, by my standards, yeah, he rich. But by NFL standards, no. Adam, what's good, man? Appreciate you. Says, yo, fellas. YG22, man. Appreciate my guy, Adam Costas, man. Make sure you go check out Adam and Mac with the Real Deal NFC East Roundup on Wednesdays and Sunday nights, man, with the Premium Take podcast, man. Love going over there, chopping it up with the fellas, man. Bringing you great New York Giants and all other content as well, not just Giants, man. You know what I'm saying? Good work by my man, Adam Costas. Burping the baby is mad funny, yeah. But that's what they were saying about him. You know what I'm saying? He was burping the baby too much. And I was one of the ones that was criticizing Daniel Jones for things like that. You know what I'm saying? But I see now that he's a different quarterback. He's playing faster. He's playing with confidence. He's comfortable in the system. He's comfortable with the coaches, the receivers. He is the quarterback. There's no question about it now. You don't have to hear the noise about, is Daniel Jones's last year, prove it year, and all that's been proven. It's done. He's the guy, and we need to move forward with it. Adam says, Hyatt is very good. People don't get he was the best wide receiver in the country. Right. Hyatt is very good, man. I watched some Tennessee film, man, and it was like people talk about Hendon Hooker, right? And I'm watching the film, and all Hendon Hooker's damn near all his touchdowns was to Jalen Hyatt. Like, I know the other kid, he's I think it was Cedric Tillman, you know what I'm saying? I know he was doing his thing too, but Hyatt was the guy, you know what I'm saying, on that team. And I don't watch college football real closely, like Coach Ed, you know what I'm saying, guys like Adam, Pat, but I do pay attention, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, Hyatt was the man. Hyatt was the man. For him to fall to the third round, it's just like, what? And a lot of people weren't high on Hyatt. They were, they said he's the one-trick pony. When we drafted him, they said, "Oh, we got guys that do the same thing." No, you don't. You don't got a guy with this cat speed. He's faster than Tyreek Hill. 24 miles an hour, this kid was clocked at. Who in the NFL? Come on now. And you're going to double him and Darren Waller? You can't do that. And you worried about the quarterback? I'm not. He seemed very capable of getting these guys the football. Remember, Daniel Jones was one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL just a few seasons ago before they took that away from him and made him a dink and dunk quarterback because we didn't have no damn receivers. Kenny Galladay wasn't the answer. That was the guy that's supposed to have been the deep threat. But your old lunch pail, Darius Slayton, had to come back on, put his jacket back on. All right, let me play number one again, y'all. This guy over here, he ain't worth you know what. So let me go back to being miscast in a role that's not for me. And people dogged him for that. You know what I'm saying? But he held it down. Now, yeah, I think we got a number one. And that's the question, folks. Can Jalen Hyatt be a number one? Y'all chime in the chat. Y'all think this can be a number one? Or you think he's just a solid number two? Can he be a number one this season? Maybe stretching it. But why not? Why not? Say he goes out week one in Dallas and has 100 yards, a couple touchdowns or a touchdown or whatever, 5 or 6 catches. Because I imagine they're going to be, deep shots. Anytime, Adam, man, you already know, man, Big Blue Crew, man, you my brother, man. Appreciate you, bro. Been a DJ Homer since day one before the draft. Call me crazy. A lot of people have, and I appreciate y'all for sticking to your guns, man, believing in the kid when a lot of us didn't. I damn sure didn't. I ain't going to lie to you. I am not going to lie to you. I am not going to be the one to come up here and be like, I knew DJ could do it. No, I didn't. Lie to y'all's face. I didn't have confidence in Daniel Jones until last season. Going into last season, I started to see it because I started to watch film. That's the difference. I started to watch film, breaking down film with Coach Ed, with Big Pat, Big Dash, Bro Lou, and the crew, the Big Blue Crew, you know what I'm saying? Watching Carl Banks, watching, content creators like Bobby Skinner, guys that know what they're talking about when it comes to offensive line play and things like that. Yeah, changed my opinion, changed my mind. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. DJ showed confidence in the second half of last season, just a glimpse of what a ceiling can be. We lit. Absolutely. I definitely think that, man. I definitely think that. The Biletnikoff winner. Oh, yeah, that's for number one wide receiver in the country. Yeah, and people don't. That's a good point, Adam, because people don't even bring that up, man. They don't want to give this kid credit because he's on the Giants. If he was drafted by the Cowboys, oh, he'd be the biggest hype thing in America right now. Y'all know that. If Jalen Hyatt, they be talking about this kid, having offensive rookie of the year if he was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. But since he's on the Giants, since we have Daniel Jones, and since people been poo-pooing this franchise, rightfully so, we've been bad. We've been bad. Let's keep it a buck, y'all. We've been bad. The media has some merit in what they're saying, but I don't give a damn because we got Jalen Hyatt, we got John Michael Schmitz, and Deonte Banks, who, by the way, is showing improvements in practice. A lot of people were a little bit nervous on Banks. He is starting to show some promise now. A couple of nice pass breakups in the last practice. So it's going to be interesting to see how Brian Dable and Mike Kafka and company divvy up the playing time in these preseason games. And that's something we're going to get into in just a second. Higher speed looks effortless. Yeah, it looks like he's just on skates. I mean, it's crazy. For sure, he can be a number one. And this season, I think so too, Mets. I really do. I think so. I just have a feeling that there's going to be so much attention being paid to Darren Waller, Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, and to a degree, Darius Slayton, because people ain't going to forget about Slayton. I mean, he was the number one last year, and he was getting double covered, so he's not going to be forgotten about. But the one you're going to forget about, Paris Campbell is respected in this league, as is Sterling Shepard. The one you're going to – Cole Beasley. The one you're going to forget about, though, is Mr. 84 over there. I think they're going to be sleeping on this kid, man. And I can't wait, especially in these division games. That's something else we're going to talk about, the division. Because a lot of people talking, you hear Jerry Jones, the Eagles, and they're loudmouth. You got Commanders fans talking smack. Nah. I expect them to be motivated for that Week 1 Dallas game. The coaches will get him involved early. I think so. But I think Dallas, what's his name? Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn ain't stupid. They're going to try to pressure Daniel Jones, put pressure on him like they did last year, try to take advantage of the O-line. So Dallas might be a game where we might have to dink and dunk for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully the line can hold up. Got Evan Neal with a concussion. That's a concern, but we'll see. Maybe mid-season he can emerge as number one, but his route running needs work, and he needs to get his NFL body. Exactly. Yeah. Mid-season is kind of where I'm getting it. I'm gonna get that feeling around mid-season, and we're gonna have some games with some teams with some not so great defenses, so to speak, where we're gonna be able to take advantage, man, to put up some points. And with Dallas, I mean, I hate those motherfuckers. Y'all know that, man. But it's a division game. Their defense seems to always get the better of our offensive line outside of Andrew Thomas. So that might be a game where, it might be more of a slugfest than a shootout. You know what I'm saying? In a type of game like that, I don't think Jalen Hyatt, he might get a long touchdown on some surprise shit and then to kind of wake up their defense and be like, oh shit, they got a guy over here. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see him really getting into form until about mid-season. So I agree with you right there, Shelton. We just got to keep winning. Hype to last, and it doesn't win. Let's continue to fly under the radar. Yeah, I like it that way. I do. Colin Johnson over Hodgins. Yeah, Hodgins hype kind of dying down a little bit, y'all. Isn't it? It really is. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, it's because we got so many receivers now. And it's just, I still expect Hodges to be on his team. His skill set is a different skill set. It's more of a slot guy, more of a possession receiver. Um, and I think about, think about Hodges as one of those possession receivers. You know what I'm saying? A slot guy, a good route runner. I do expect Hodges. Colin Johnson, I don't know, man. I don't know about Colin Johnson. He might be getting a little bit too much hype, to be honest with you, man. Just my opinion, though. Unpopular as it may be. Y'all hit that like button. Mac, the Giants fan, what's good, Mac, man? Getting ready for my first fantasy draft, and I was looking through some rankings, and they had Darren Waller as the 16th ranked tight end. Tell me that's not Giants hate. It is. And you're going to get a damn good tight end if you get him. If he's a 16th rated tight end. Speaking of fantasy, I don't know if you guys play fantasy football, but I do a fantasy league. I'm probably going to do another one this year, man. If you guys are interested, man, hit me up, NYG22 on Twitter, man. And let's get – last year, I was in the league, and then Rodney, man, y'all know Rodney, Big Blue Corner. He ended up winning in the championship game, man. So shout out to Rodney, man. You know what I'm saying? And we do pay out. You know what I'm saying? I paid out last year. This year, we're going to do a pool, though. You know, I might do $5 or $10, man. Something light, man. Just to have a good time, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Play some fantasy football, man. We Giants fans, man, but I like football. I love football, man. I love the NFL, man. So definitely Mac, Darren Waller, 16th rated tight end, man. Still, you can get him in like the 7th, 8th round. That nasty work. Tudo, what's good, bro? What's good, Tudo, man? Tudo is a funny guy, man. He had me rolling on the stream last night with Big Bro Lou, man. Leather to the face. Y'all go check that out, man, as we seen Jake Paul get a weak decision. I mean, weak, over Nate Diaz, man. Nate Diaz pretty much was, he wasn't really – it didn't look like he was really into this type of fight. It just looked like amateur at the Apollo, pretty much. You know what I'm saying, man? But Jake Paul couldn't do nothing with the dude, man. They just got him on points for some reason, man. I think he got knocked down in one of the rounds, and that was pretty much what did him in. But outside of that, I think Diaz won that fight for sure, man. Paul's a sucker. Mac and Adam is always willing to join the panel. Link is in the chat. I always put the link in the Big Blue Crew Entertainment chat. For any guys that want to jump on, always look in that chat for my links to the stream, whether it's this one or Heart of the City. Check out the links, man. Put it in a Big Blue Crew chat, man, for the Big Blue Crew to come up here and talk Giants football. So let's get. Oh yeah, Heather Hardy, man. she got worked. She got worked by Amanda, man, and shout out to her too, man. You know what I'm saying? Because she did her best Earl Spence impression last night. The way her face was looking. But she a tough cookie. You're right, man. She a tough cookie. Deception, what's good, man? Good morning, y'all, man. What's good, man? Welcome to Giants Conversations, man. We'll be talking all New York Giants. So I want to get into something else here real quick. We talked about Jalen Hyatt. My banner up here. So Evan Neal got this concussion. And the Giants overall, they got some players still injured. Aaron Robinson, DJ Davison, Marcus McKeithen. So I think Darren Waller was held out. He got a little nicked up a little bit, man. So expecting some nicks and bruises and some bumps and bruises right here. But Evan Neal with the concussion, it was sloppy practice Saturday. I don't know what the report was, run into a lineman or something like that, how high he got the concussion. If you guys have more detail on that, I can put it in the chat room. But I just know he got a concussion and he was held out of Saturday's practice. Concussion is not an injury to be taken lightly, but it's not something that should keep you out, multiple weeks, so to speak. He'll go through concussion protocol, and hopefully he'll be good to go. But injury concerns. How concerned are you guys about possible injuries? We're going to have them. Every team has injuries. And we looking at our starters and we're looking at wide receiver one. I think they released the official depth charts before the preseason game. So we should see that come out next week. So we'll see, who they got as the depth charts, the starters. We kind of already have an idea. Offensive line is still being shuffled around. So is slot corner. So is linebacker. But for the most part, we know who the starters are. How concerned are you about injuries? Can we sustain injuries? Are we going to be okay if a guy like Evan Neal has to miss some time? Now, they had Matt Pert in his spot. Y'all remember Matt Pert? Third round pick by Dave Gettleman. Can't remember the year, but third round pick by Dave Gettleman. He was supposed to be the bookend tackle. Him and was it Nate Solder? Supposed to be our tackles. Y'all remember that? Matt Pert. And Tyree Phillips are the depth behind Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. How concerned are you guys if I'll be damn concerned if Andrew Thomas has to, if he has to miss. But how concerned are you about Evan Neal if he has to miss some times? And do you expect a guy like Matt Pert or Tyree Phillips to be able to come in and hold their own? Matt says Pert looking right, allegedly, in practice. Yeah, in practice. So I don't have a lot of confidence in Matt Pert. I actually have more confidence in Tyree Phillips. To be honest with you, the guy wasn't that bad when we had to fill in last year. So wasn't good either. But, you're replacing the number one pick, a guy who a lot of people expect to be, a starting right tackle in this league for years to come. So Evan Neal has looked better this training camp. But yeah, injuries. How concerned are you injuries on the offensive line? The interior, I'm not as worried about because we do have Bredesen. We got guys that can play spots in the interior. Tackle, I'm nervous. A little nervous. I'm a little bit nervous about a guy like Evan Neal or, God forbid, Andrew Thomas has to miss time. What's this offense going to look like? What's this line going to look like? Is DJ going to be running for his life again? Is Saquon not going to have no room to run? It's just going to go to shits and we're going to be back, to doing 5-yard flat routes because we don't got no time. Y'all got to think about that. Also, the edge position. Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari, two solid guys. After them, you got Zimenez, Timon Fox. I think confidence level will be shaken if one of those guys or both of those guys have to start in place of Thibodeau or Ojulari. All right, that's cool, Matt. Bet, man. You know what I'm saying? No pressure. Just throwing it out there if you guys want to jump on a stream. If not, I can come on, man. I can talk. I can host it up. You know how it is, man. We are seasoned veterans right now. You know what I'm saying? I started YouTubing last year. It's been well over a year now. And I'm in my comfort zone, especially on this show, because a lot of times it's just me. You know what I mean? So, gotta know how to hold it down by yourself. They said it was due to a collision on a run play. Okay, yeah, okay. That is what it was. So yeah, gotta be careful with that. Gotta be careful with that, man. And but yeah, I'm a little concerned if Evan Neal or Andrew Thomas have to miss time. Not that confident in the depth behind those guys. Same thing with the flip it on the other side with the two bookend edges, Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau. Not as confident in Zimenez or Timon Fox coming in. Now, Timon Fox is the guy that he could develop into one of those cats to come on off the bench, man, and be that third pass rusher. So we'll see about Mr. Timon Fox. Should Waller play in the preseason? Hell no. I better not see Darren Waller out there, man. Yeah, I don't say he's never played in a preseason game. He don't need to. You already know that dude got injury history. You put him out there in a preseason game, especially against Dan Campbell and the ankle biting Lions. No. Nah, we don't need that. Shit, I don't even need Bellinger to play, honestly. I mean, I guess you could put Belly out there for a couple snaps, man, but get them snaps to Lawrence Cager and some of these other guys, man, some of the other backup tight ends, man. Let them play. We don't need Waller out there. I don't know if there was any dope in a drug prize files, but it definitely looked like they were all doped in pain. Yeah. Doping for sure, yeah. Carl Banks expects Aziz to get a minimum of 15 sacks. What is Carl seeing and where can we see those tapes? Well, he had a sack a game last year, so it wouldn't be a stretch if he averages a sack a game to see him have 15 sacks in a 17-game season. So I think that's what Carl Banks is looking at. He just needs to be on the field. Azeez Ojulari is an excellent pass rusher. His rookie season, he had 7.5, 8 sacks. Last year, he had about 6 or 7, in 6 or 7 games, something like that. So I definitely see Azeez Ojulari, if healthy, eclipsing double digits. Is he going to get 15? I don't know. I think he can get at least 10. If you get 10 from him and 10 from Kayvon Thibodeau, that's 20 sacks. And you say you get another 10 or 15 from the interior, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at, 35, 40 sacks. You're going to get some from the corners and the safeties, the way Wink Martindale likes to blitz. So, yeah, you could be looking at 40-plus sacks, possibly 50 sacks for this Giants team if these guys stay healthy. And that's why I'm like, injury concerns. Yeah, man, they need to stay healthy. We're all in Hurts business, so make these non-conference prize fights have no drug rules at all. We play in pro rugby with no pads or helmets and everything hurts, but we train well for it. Yeah, man. At rugby, that's a tough sport. That is tough, man. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you two, though, man, for holding that sport down, man, because that's a tough sport to play, man. People think football is tough. Rugby's tough. Like my man said, no pads, no helmets. Just hitting. Deception says, who do you think has the most to prove in the preseason? Let's talk about the preseason. So we got Lions versus Giants, 8-11, 7 p.m. What to watch for? So going back to Deception, he says, who do you think has the most to prove in the preseason? The bottom of the wide receiver core, definitely. And I'm thinking about guys like, they cut Jeff Smith. That's right. I just seen that. he got cut, and they signed another D tackle. So they're obviously focused heavily on the defensive tackle position. They seem to sign one every week now. I mean, you know, taking me back flashbacks of Dave Gettleman with these and Jerry Reese, the defensive tackles. You know, the New York Giants was defensive tackle university, man. You know what I'm saying? We Linval Joseph, Barry Cofield, Jonathan Hankins, you know, so on and so forth, man. So definitely, but back to the point. Who has the most approved? What about Sterling Shepard? Sterling Shepard is on the bubble, y'all, but it's making his team. Cole Beasley seems to be solidified on this roster right now. It seems that way. It seems like Cole Beasley's going to make this team. And if Cole Beasley makes this team, what does that do for Sterling Shepard? Does he make the team too? Or are they just looking at it like, okay, we got Wan'Dale Robinson on this team. We got Paris Campbell. We got Cole Beasley. We don't need no other slot guys. Sorry, Shep. So I don't know, man. And is Sterling Shepard going to play in the preseason? He seemed like a guy that wouldn't or shouldn't, given his injury history. That's something to watch for. Deception. Outside of that, the linebackers, Michael McFadden, Darian Beavers, we need to see something from those guys. Bobby Okereke, we know what he can do, but I want to see somebody step up next to them, and I expect guys like Darian Beavers and Michael McFadden to play in the preseason. They need to play in the preseason, and they need to show out and show something. Jared Davis' injury was significant in my opinion. Not a lot of people talking about it, man, but he was the guy that was going to be next to Bobby O, and he's a decent player, not spectacular, but veteran, solid. He was going to man down that spot, so I need to see something from those guys, Beavers and McFadden. Also got to look at the cornerback positions, particularly the slot cornerback position with Darnell Holmes, who was on the bubble. Don't know why he's on the roster, but he's still here. Cordell Flott, he's got to show something. Aaron Robinson needs to get on the field. You still got Rodarius Williams on here. He needs to get on the field. Trey Hawkins is coming for people's roster spots. So it's going to be interesting to see that cornerback position and how that shakes out. So, back end wide receiver, linebacker, and slot corner or some of the positions that I'm going to be watching for, man. But what about y'all, man? Chime in the chat, man. Let's get to some comments, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. Aziz is good. He needs to transition to being really good. He has to stay healthy. That's the key. He's got to stay healthy. We need better edge backups for sure. Definitely. They could sign a veteran coming up here, once roster cuts are done. And I expect them to, add some players to this team. So we'll see if they add depth at that position. If not, man, let's root for Timon Fox, man. We already know what Zimenez is. He's a average player at that position, I would say. But I want to see somebody come in that can really pressure the quarterback, man, and turn some of these pressures into sacks. Evan Neal has the most to prove in the preseason. Evan Neal has the most to prove in the regular season. I don't think Evan Neal is going to prove much in this preseason other than him being able to stay healthy, to be honest with you. I want to see Matt Pert get out there, Tyree Phillips, and some of these other guys get out there and help me be at ease if Thomas or Neal has to go down. If these guys can actually go out there, man, and be competent. Particularly Pert, too, because he's got talent. He just didn't have in your chest that heart, you know what I'm saying, when my man, the coach that got on Perk, this dude ain't got no heart. Like, straight up, man. Like, I don't mean to laugh, but like, you question a football player's heart, man. That's like, yeah, that's one of the things to be like, nah, you don't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to see Neal against the Phillies. Other than Neal needs is the key to the offense being top 10. They're going to do that in these joint practices, no mess. So let me tell y'all something. The way the NFL is going right now, they're doing these joint practices with other teams. I think the Giants are going to have one with Detroit. I don't think they're going to do the one with the Jets like they did last year. But with the joint practices, it doesn't put, because you only got 3 preseason games now. So you basically, the coaches are going off those joint practices to kind of gauge their talent versus another team's talent. Not necessarily doing it in the preseason game. The preseason game is more for the back end of the roster guys. Now, the joint practices, that's where you want to see how your guys are faring against other talent from other teams. Those are gonna be big for guys like Evan Neal. Those are gonna be big for Daniel Jones. Those are gonna be big for KT and Azeez Ojulari. You know what I'm saying? Those are the practices that we're gonna be paying attention to kind of gauge what his Giants team is. When it comes to the preseason game, I don't expect none of those guys to play. I don't see Dexter Lawrence playing, KT, Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, Saquon Barkley damn sure ain't playing. Daniel Jones damn sure ain't playing. You'll see Flotts out there. You'll see probably Deontay Banks, some of the rookies. But you're not going to see the veteran starters, so to speak. Leonard Williams, these guys ain't going to play, man. You don't want them out there against a team like Detroit anyway. Detroit is a good team. Their defense showed me something last year with Aiden Hutchinson, man, and that guy McNeil in the interior. Those guys can get after the quarterback. You don't want to risk that, getting your guy hurt out there in a meaningless preseason game. Gauge them off the joint practices. They're more controlled, and we'll be able to get a good feel for how these guys look. Remember, a couple years ago, that joint practice they had with the Browns, where the Cleveland Browns were just busting ass. We kind of had a feeling we was going to be in for a long season. So not too much in the preseason game, but in the practices is where we're going to pay attention. Either way it goes, I believe Shep will remain with the team. Yeah, I could see him getting cut and then saying fuck it and retiring, or he might make the roster. I just so many guys, man. So many receivers, man. Like, you can't put them all on the roster. You got guys Bryce Ford Wheaton, Colin Johnson. What you gonna do with all these guys? Isaiah Hodgins, Jamison Crowder. You got guys like Khalil Pimpleton. What you gonna do with all these cats? Much love to Tommy. What's good? Much love to the panel and all Giants. Maximus Jones will hoist up the trophy screaming, "Oh, y'all not entertained." Yes, let's go, man. Let's go, man. Let's go, DJ, man. You know what I'm saying? We want to see Daniel Jones, man, get his respects. So disrespectful to Mr. Jones and this whole Giants team, man. You know what I'm saying? Max said it. Darren Waller, 16th. Are you fucking kidding me? But I hope he's 16th in my draft, because yeah, I'm getting him. Giants train leaving the station. If you ain't on it, get out the way. That's right, Bookends. Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Oh, ludicrous song. Zimenez made some plays. Yeah, Knicks, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. First time seeing you here. If you're not subscribed, please like and subscribe to the show. I do this every Sunday. This is the pregame show, man. Giants conversations, man. We go up to about 1:00, man. Then we get off here, man. We go watch some football, man, over there with the Big Blue crew, man. So tune in, stop in. Appreciate you stopping by. Says O'Shane Zimenez made some plays recently at practice. Yeah, he makes some plays. He's okay. But I don't. I need a little bit more pop from another edge guy. You know what I'm saying? Zimenez is way too inconsistent. And yeah, like Met says, I don't have no expectations for him at all, really. Welcome to the show. Hit the like button, subscribe. Exactly, man. Appreciate you too, though, man, for pointing that out as well. Crowder, Beasley, Waller are all field teachers that coaching can't teach. It's different being groomed by watching Waller for Belly Kaiser to watch Beasley, Crowder for Robinson, Hyatt, Bryce, Johnson. Yeah. Don't forget about Shep. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the reasons they brought Sterling Shepard back is to be that on-the-field coach. You know what I'm saying? Beasley's another guy that can do that. You know what I'm saying? I think Beasley is favored more because he's worked with Dable. And I think that's the whole thing with Cole Beasley. You know what I'm saying? Cole Beasley's he's a good receiver. I give him that. You know what I'm saying? He's proven things in this league. You know, he was a pain in the ass when he played for Dallas. We all know over here. But I'm a Shep guy. If it comes down to it, I'm picking Sterling Shepard, even though he's got the injury history, man, you know, because they're both similar guys. Let's keep it a buck. So I'm taking my guy. I'm taking Shep. But the coaches may not see it that way. So I'm just saying, don't be surprised if Sterling Shepard is not on the New York Giants at the end of this training camp. Just don't be surprised about it. Can't even call average at this point. I guess he's average by NFL standards. We tend to want our pass rushers to do a little bit better. I mean, this is the Giants, man. You know what I'm saying? You get Lawrence Taylor, Michael Strahan, you know, two of the all-time great pass rushers in history. You know what I'm saying? I need a little bit more out of my pass rushers. I need Kayvon Thibodeau to come alive. I need Aziz to be Aziz and stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? I need another guy that can come in and give those guys a breather and us not have too much of a drop-off. When you put O'Shane Zimenez in there, the drop-off is noticeable. That's what I mean by average. Heavyweight champ, woo! To DJ and Jalen Hyatt connection is going to win the G-Men Super Bowls. Woo! That's right, man. That's right, man. We are, I think, Super Bowl contenders. Did this exercise last week when I was telling you guys about the NFC, you know, and really, you know, you say Philly, you say San Francisco, really it is not a whole lot. You know, it's not a whole lot of teams to be scared of. I don't think any teams to be scared of, to be honest with you, but there's not a lot standing in the Giants' way, to be honest with you. I think the biggest challenge is in the division, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second, man. Tommy, sacks on the way. Impossible to get sacks last year with backup practice squad linebackers. Smith straight off the streets and win. Your secondary had more holes than Swiss cheese. McLeod, Pinnock, Monroe, late backups. I'm a Pinnock guy, man. I think and he's going to be the starting strong safety, y'all. Book it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's much of an unpopular opinion as, you know, some may seem, because, you know, we all thought it would be Dane Belton or possibly Bobby McCain. It's going to be Justin Pinnock. Wink likes this guy, man. And the reason Wink likes this guy is because he can blitz him. He's an excellent tackler, strong at the point of attack. I mean, he can get it done, you know what I'm saying, in that box safety role. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to put him out there in coverage on running backs, anything like that, and not doing that, you know. But from a blitzing safety spot, you know, run defense, because remember, this is why they put so much of an emphasis on the defensive tackle position. I wish they would have put more emphasis on the linebacker position, but they did address it with Bobby O. You know, Darian Beavers, everyone is high on Darian Beavers, a little bit higher than I am because I got to see it. I mean, I haven't seen much from this kid, you know, but people that study film that I respect, you know, say Darian Beavers is that guy. So you get Darian Beavers, you get Bobby O, you know, and you have a guy like Pennick that can you know rotate in as a box safety, you know what I'm saying, and give you excellent run support. And then you got your fat guys up front, you know, on the defensive line. So we need to stop the run in this division. Washington, Philly, Dallas, they all possess very good rushing attacks and all have pretty good, decent offensive lines. So we have to do a good job there. And if we do, then we can open it up and unleash our pass rush, and we can get fancy with his blitz packages, man. So that's what we got to do. Run, stop the run first. I know it sounds old school and boring and Dave Gettleman-like, but it is football. You have to be able to stop the run, especially when you have an RPO quarterback like Jalen Hurts. Got to be able to shut that down, man. You know, according to Jerry Jones, you know, and a lot of these pundits, Philly's the cream of the crop in this division. Dallas, some say, you know. So what do they do? Both do decently or well to decently is run the football. You know, Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott aren't all world quarterbacks that can go in there and switch cheese you up and down the field. They play off the running game that those teams possess. Funny with all the reports saying DJ looks good, you have people saying, yeah, the defense is half-assing it. And see, you're right, Bookends. He looks great, so now our defense sucks. This guy can't win, man. He can't win, man. Oh, man. Yeah. Bredesen, right. Bredesen, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Ben Bredesen, man. I'm telling you, you could see now Josh Ezeudu has taken over the left guard spot pretty much. And he looks good. He's healthy. And he looks like he's going to be our day one starter at that position. Now, Bredesen, remember, Bredesen is basically the backup center and the backup guard at this point. And he could possibly, if you can put him in with over Glowinski, I think we good money there. You make Glowinski the backup. I know it's a high-priced backup, but who gives a hell about the money? You know, you make him the backup, and you put Ben Bredesen in there if he's the better player at this point. Don't be overly loyal to a guy like Mark Glowinski just because you signed him. Don't be Dave Gettleman. Put the best player in there. That's the best player for the job, and I think that's Ben Bredesen. And coach will tell you to go, coach, man. Hey, man, nah, you good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. I'll throw the link in the chat if you want to jump on. I ain't going to be on here too much longer, but we'll wrap for a minute. I got one other topic I want to get into, man. But we previewing the game right now. Giants-Lions, 7 p.m. with the watch for. Tudo to the God, glory always. Our Giants are about to consistently dominate the trench on both sides of the ball as the playmakers do what they do best. Absolutely, man. And I think we will be a team to be feared if we can definitely, like I said, stop the run, man. And our offensive line holds up, man. Bredesen's going to be the starting right guard. I think that's the way it's trending. I think you're going to see a line of Thomas Ezeudu, John Michael Smits, Ben Bredesen, and Evan Neal. And I'm okay with that. I like that lineup. I do wonder, though, if Bredesen, cross your fingers, if Bredesen had to go in at center, you know, for some reason or another position for some reason, do you just plug Glowinski in at the right or left guard position? So that's something to talk about, something to think about. So in a playoff game on the road, all the moving pieces we had on the line, Receivers just meant to crash and burn, but the great coach made something of it. And that's not, a lot of people don't talk about the coaching. When they looking at these other teams, they not talking about the New York Giants coaching. You know what I'm saying? So let's wrap this up. Then we're going to get into a little NFC East talk. What to watch for? One, no injuries. No injuries. No major injuries to any of the major players. I'm hoping they sit these guys out. I'm thinking Dable and Kafka are smart enough to do that. Wink on the defense. I don't think you're going to play your most important players. You want to play rookies. They need snaps to get used to the NFL's, the speed of the game. And I know that's risky, given a couple of our rookies are slated to start, but you need Trey Hawkins out there. You want Banks to get a couple snaps. You need Smith to get a couple snaps. And you that's what the preseason is for. Rookies back into the roster guys trying to make the team, not for your starting quarterback or your starting running back or your starting receivers. Don't need Slayton out there. Don't need Waller out there. I don't need any of that. Maybe you throw Hyatt out there for a couple snaps, maybe, but Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito need to play this entire game with, the second team. Definitely, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you too, though. What's good, man? Coach, what's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, man? Sorry I'm late, man. I overslept.
Nah, you good, man. Shit, man. You ain't no obligation to come on here, man. Like I said,
Stop it, bro. Stop it. We family.
But on the topic, man, what to watch for, man? What you looking for, man? This game 1 for the preseason, man. I said no injuries. Yeah, that's my number one concern.
Yeah, no injuries. I'm in the more technical aspect. I'm just trying to get a gauge on what formations offensively they're going to be trying to work with a little bit more, because, there is a foundational piece. So, and then, who are your key backups? I was listening to you, as far as the offensive line. I mean, I've heard and read a few things that Bredesen seems to be locking in at the right guard. I didn't think Glowinski would, because he's primarily a right guard. When he first came in the league, he did play left guard, but he's mainly been a right guard. So, can he rotate and swing between the two? But hey, in the end, you got to do his best. If Bredesen is better, put Bredesen out there and let's rock. So, but again, who are your other backups? Who are the competition? It does seem, for some reason, Pert has elevated himself to number 2 at the right tackle. And I know most fans don't want to hear that. But, the past few days, he's been, when Neal went out with the concussion, he was the one that went in first. And he's been doing, from the clips that I've seen. Now, mind you, they're clips. That's why I want to see him in the game. But it seems like he's doing well. So, and he's always had the talent. So if he put it together, man, that would be a great number three tackle. So, but again, are they going to play Schmitz at all? If they do, how much? Because you still, yes, he's going up against Dexter, but you still want to see in the game, in a sense. But yeah,
Philly halftime. What's good with you, bro?
What's up, Philly? Also, I mean, you do, the dual practice, you will see a little bit. But again, in the game, those are some of the things that are like the trenches. I really want to see the trenches. Is Nacho playing? If he is, then I want to see how he acclimates himself to the defense. Riley, I want to see Riley. So those are some, and then on the back end, the safety and the slot cornerbacks. I definitely want to see that.
I did mention that slot cornerback position, man. And you got to think too,
because my boy is starting to move up, and it's killing me, man. Darnay Holmes. Darnay Holmes just seems like he's moving up, and I'm like, no, not him, no. But I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
he's one of those guys, man. That just it's just like he just hangs around. You know what I'm saying? Hangs around the team. It's like David Sills. David Sills is still on the Giants. I don't know why. This guy is he's just like lingering. He's a lingering player. Some of these players they just linger.
He's like that itch you got somewhere in your body and you're trying to get it to scratch and you just can't get to it and he's just still there. That's him and Darnay Holmes. Yeah.
Yeah, just lingering, man. Like, what these guys still doing on this team, man? With all this talent. Tommy says having Bobby O as the key opens up everything. Smith and all the other linebackers last year on half what Bobby O is. He will allow the D-line and secondary to focus on one thing, their job. Philly said Giants had a good draft this year. Absolutely. In our division, I have Eagles, Giants, Dallas, and Washington. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. That's the next topic here. Secondary D-line will focus on it. I already read that. Thomas, Azudu, JMS, Bredesen, Neal, Waller, Belly, Paris, Barkley, with Jones being able to run all over. League defenders will have to play their position. No more cheating, looking in the backfield, cheating up. I agree. I mentioned that earlier. That's what a guy like Waller and Jalen Hyatt is going to be able to do. Now, we talked about Jalen Hyatt. Let's see, will Jalen Hyatt play in this preseason game? Possibly. So let's see. Let's see if Tyrod ain't no weak quarterback. He can get players of football. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if he's been doing it in practice. Let's see if Jalen Hyatt, man, can show a little something here in this preseason, man. So we definitely gonna be tuned into that. The game is Friday, so next Sunday I will have a recap on this very show for y'all. But let's get into a little NFC East talk, man. Got my man Philly Halftime in the chat, man. Excellent Eagles content creator. Go check him out, man, with the Hardcore Sports Network, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, man. I appreciate him, appreciate Mitch and all those guys over there, even though they Eagles fans.
It's nothing but love. I know,
but it's all love, man. We all content creators, man. We all love football, man. So that's what we have in common. You know what I'm saying? But let's take a look at this division. Okay, let's start with the Eagles. Now, Philly, according to most people, are expected to win the division, rightfully so. They're coming off a Super Bowl year where they lost in the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs. They were 13-4, I think, last year. So this team with Jalen Hurts, with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, they signed Swift in the offseason. So, upgrade there a little bit at the running back position. I mean, I think they traded for him. And also drafting of Jalen Carter. Further strengthening that defensive line. Now we've strengthened our defensive line as well. And Philly is going to have to contend basically with losing their coordinators. I think as Coach mentioned, they lost the right guard. What was his name?
I forgot his name.
What's his name? Philly Halftime, the right guard y'all lost. Who was like a Pro Bowler. But so now Jalen Hurts going into a new season. They've kept a lot of their continuity. I give them that. You know what I'm saying? Added some pieces in the draft. But can this team hold up? And there's two key things that I would pause on if I'm an Eagles fan. One is you cannot underestimate losing both of your coordinators. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You cannot underestimate that. Calls are different. Coach, you can elaborate on that. Calls are different. Formations could be different. You know what I'm saying? Just the overall vibe, the connection, the communication. It's all different. You know what I'm saying?
Say a mile.
Say a mile. That's who it was. I knew it was a hard pronouncing name. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Sheldon says, I feel Dallas will slip this season. The window is closed. We're gonna get to them in a minute. F all Eagles losers. Here we go. Y'all say that trash talk for Coach's show, man. Trash, Smash Mouth trash talk, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fridays, man. Yeah, but we're gonna talk a little trash, a little light trash talking here. These deep threats are gonna open us big runs for Saquon Barkley and Jones. Now, the other thing to pause on with the Eagles is their injuries. Now, when you have a relatively healthy team like they had all last year, it's hard to sustain that year after year after year. You know what I'm saying? Us as Giants fans know we're like the most injured team every single year. So, it's hard to really reach your full potential when you have so many, not just the injuries, but the major injuries. And I think that is one of the key, ACLs and Achilles tears and things like that, man, left and right with this team. Now they supposedly changed the turf, supposed to do some different things with the field. So we'll see. But those are two things that I will be worried about if I'm the Eagles, as far as them being able to repeat in this division. And I think the Eagles kind of leveled out. I don't think they really improved, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I think they're more or less the same team they were last year. And I mean, that was good enough to get to a Super Bowl, so you can't knock it. But with the other teams improving in the division, it's going to be interesting to see if Philly can hold serve here, man, as repeat champions. Matt, what's good, my brother?
What's up,
going on, fellas?
What's up?
How y'all doing, man?
All right, and you?
Maintaining, man.
I'm great, bro. One more week close to the football season, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, man. I'm fired up. I think you got the stream on background. Hit it echo. But the Eagles, man. We're talking about the Eagles, and Philly says you guys got a two-headed monster at the running backs. Now they can both catch the ball in the backfield. Yeah, talking about Eric Gray and Saquon Barkley, who a lot of people feel like Eric Gray's a little mini version of Saquon. The Eagles got younger and faster on defense. Well, you got younger and faster, but did you get better? Remains to be seen with Nakobe Dean and a guy like Jalen Carter, how they will fit into that defense. What's your thoughts on that, though, man? What do you think about this Eagles team, and do you think they've gotten better? We're doing NFC East talk here, a little light segment before we wrap it up.
You talking to me or you talking to Matt?
Either one of y'all can go, man.
Matt, you got
talking for an hour.
I mean, I don't feel like they necessarily got any better, but they damn sure I can't sit there and say they got worse either. This team is just really good. I think they lost some big key pieces, but they also replaced them with what looks like, at least on paper, some more good pieces. So it's going to be tough. I mean, like you said, the coordinator thing is something that could get a little. It could be a little dicey for them. You never know how that can affect the team. You get used to a coach's style and where what they expect, their expectations, and no matter what, even though things will probably be relatively the same, whoever their new coordinators are is going to come in and still want to put a few of their own nuances in, and that could have a ripple effect that could affect the team in some way. So, I mean, I think at the end of the day, this is still the team to beat in the NFC East. This is what everybody's looking up to right now is the Philadelphia Eagles. And until proven otherwise, man, until somebody knocks them off that top of that mountain, I can't take them away. I can't pull them off of there right yet, man. You got to see it translate on the field, man. I think this team is very talented. They still got a lot of their key pieces in place. That offensive weapons all around the board. I mean, they got top 5 wide receivers, top 5 quarterback, top 5 tight end, top 5 offensive line. Like, this team is loaded, especially on the offensive side. And then defensively, they got a lot of pieces too defensively, man. They got the corners back there in the secondary, still a good pair of corners back there.
It still got
They
Bradbury and Slay, right?
absolutely they were able
Let's
to
talk
hang
about that, and
on to
maybe
both of them.
maybe Philly halftime can chime in if he wants to. Your corners, how are they going to be able to deal with the speed of the New York Giants receivers now? With a guy like Bradbury that we know very well is not the fleetest of foot. So, um, you know what I'm saying? Very good corner, as is Slay. You know, guys a little bit older, getting a little bit up there in age. I'm interested to see how they're going to deal with the speed of the Giants receivers and these Giants skill position players. That's something because Philly said they got faster and younger on defense, but I don't necessarily think you got younger and faster in the secondary. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Shelton said, "Yep, I agree. This is going to be the RB room. Barkley, Gray, and Breeder. I don't think Brightwell makes it. He might slip to the practice squad, which is fine. You know, you can use him as a backup in case somebody gets hurt. But coach, what's your thoughts on the Eagles, man? And do you think the Eagles are um, going to be the same team? I know your take on this, but go ahead and tell the audience what do you think this Eagles team is going to look like this year? Do you think they're going to be able to repeat what they did last season?
I mean, to Max's point, you have to respect what they put in and what they did last year and where they went. So yes, you respect that. And until someone takes them off of their pedestal, I get it. But um, to me, losing two coordinators on both sides of the ball is a big thing. It really is, especially when you get to the NFL. Yes, each coordinator. Yes, you may have a system, but each coordinator still is different. They have different tendencies, and they may like different calls. They may not have liked other calls, even if it was successful, and they may feel that something else may be better suited for their personnel. Also, because you did change up your personnel, you still have in the middle of your defense, you have young guys. And that's a big factor. They have to play together and understand the NFL. Veteran guys are going to be able to attack them, especially early. Come
Keely
later in the
Ringo,
season,
that's what they got. Wasn't it Ringo they
yeah,
drafted?
they
Yeah, they
got
drafted
Ringo.
Ringo.
Ringo,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you'll probably put him in the slot to start with the veteran guys, because he's a little bit younger and quicker. But in the middle of your defense, yes, you have Davis, you have Carter, and you have Dean. They're familiar with each other. They played together for years in college, but this is not college. This is grown man football. So
Hmm.
and that's where if teams are able to attack the middle of their defense and run on them, that's going to be key. Davis also for being a second year player didn't play much last year. Remember, he was out with injury. So what is his weight issue? Because that is also seemed to be a factor.
Mm.
So now I've heard Carter is having a good training camp. Okay, that's what you would expect from him. But again,
Yeah,
he
he's gonna
he
be good.
may be going up against second units guys initially. So and then the other factor is for me, I need to see if they have everyone else on the offensive line. So that's good. That will help their right guard, but it's still a key position, especially because they like to run. They like to run, and that's a part. That's a point. That's a key point that is going to help in their run game. So who's there and how is he fitting in? Now he has two all pros on either side of him. So I do respect that with Kelsey and Lane Johnson. So they're going to help him,
Yeah.
whoever it is. But those are some of the things that I look at to see are there any real chinks in their armor? So and then you guys were just talking about it, the cornerbacks. Yeah, we have speed. Hyatt and Ringo know each other from college, so if Hyatt is in the slot,
Hmm.
Ringo knows him. But and he was Hyatt was was an all American, or was he All American or the top wide receiver coming out of college. So, those are some things that, as a Giants fan, yes, I want to see, especially when we get to, even though we don't play them until late in the season, but early in the season, I am going to be watching it. How do teams attack them and how do they acclimate themselves and do they progress before they get to play us towards the end of the season? So, you know, um, but I do respect them. They're going to be a tough out. I have to respect what they did to us last year. But
Yeah.
what's my saying? You beat me. I'm going to the film. I'm going to take my notes, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to be ready to punch you in the face. So, and that's my expectation. We're going to take our notes. Dable's going to have us ready and prime whenever we get to them. But first up for me is always them trash team. So, but I know you're gonna get to that. I know you're gonna get to that.
Let's talk about these guys, man. These Dallas Cowboys, man.
Mm.
Shout out to my man Big Pat, man. Go check out his video he made about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones back
Jerry
at it, running his
Jones.
mouth.
That's what he does best,
saying
man.
saying that the Cowboys were, basically cream of the crop in the division. They're that team. They're them boys and all that jazz and all this. You know what? Okay, Dallas Cowboys are talented. I will give you that. They have talent on the offense. They have talent on the defense. Their coach is Mike McCarthy. He is probably the worst coach in the division.
Not going to even disagree.
no, I can't.
Their quarterback is Dak Prescott. Depending on what the Commanders put out there, quarterback, he's probably the worst quarterback in this division. So your head coach sucks, your quarterback sucks. Oh, and your defense, they talk shit to the quarterback. They talking smack to the quarterback, calling him a bitch, and all this other crap. So that's issues right there. Oh yeah, and you lost your offensive coordinator, and now you got Mike McCarthy calling the plays. So yeah, I have a lot of questions in Dallas. Now, your defense is solid. You got Parsons, you got Lawrence, Diggs, and Stephen Gilmore is an All-Pro. Now, what I'm interested to see is, can you stop the run? Can you stop the run?
That's why they drafted Mozzie in the first round, right? That's
concerning, right? So I want to see that. We know y'all can rush the passer. We know you can get turnovers. We know Dan Quinn's defense is known for that. Can you stop the run? With this improved team that the Giants are putting out there, Washington, we'll see. Eagles, we already talked about them. Can you stop the run? And can your quarterback not lead the league in interceptions? Is Tony Pollard going to be able to shoulder number one RB duties without Ezekiel Elliott there?
Oh, shit.
another key question. What's going on, Blaze?
Zach Martin is pissed off. And he's apparently not reporting to camp. So, now with Zach Martin in there, your offensive line is pretty good. I'm not going to cap. But there's a lot of questions there in Dallas. So for you to be talking like dismissing the Giants and even the Commanders, I don't know if you want to do that. Week 1 gonna be a hell of you just giving more ammo to Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Brian Dable, and this coaching staff to say, you know what, we're gonna go out there and kick y'all's ass straight up. That's how I'm feeling right now. They're gonna go out there and kick the Cowboys' ass week 1. Book it. What's y'all thought on Dallas, man? Do you think Dallas is improved, the same, or are they taking a step back?
Okay.
Talk to me.
Here we go. Here we go. All right.
I see y'all in the chat.
I'm gonna
What
start
up?
with the money
What up,
position.
Blazed? What's good with you, bro?
With that
Go ahead.
money position, the quarterback position,
Mhm.
Dak Prescott is like a broken ATM, man. You can just go up, push a button, and he's going to throw the money at you. And when I say throw the money at you, that means the football. He's going to turn it over. You know, your points are all valid too. You know, just like you said, Mike McCarthy. You know, what are you going to get out of Mike McCarthy as a play caller? You know, we saw what happened, and didn't he have Aaron Rodgers? And he had issues with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, as a play caller,
a way
and
better
how
quarterback than Dak Prescott.
and how and the other thing is, how long ago was it? I understand he went on his little tour to show he studied the game and he's improved it, and that's good
I agree,
to any
Philly.
coach.
I think they're going to get off to a slow start, and there's going to be noise about McCarthy being fired.
The issue with Zach Martin, I know many Cowboy fans who say they're not worried he's going to be there, man. Number one, it don't sound like it to me. It sounds like it's a big issue. You're paying a lot of other guys all this money, and you're leaving him to feel like he's an afterthought. You know, he's Zach Martin. He's been there for a long time, and he's been a foundational point in that offensive line. So, and guess what? He's not doing. He's not there working with the other guys to build up a level of continuity. So, and if he's not there by that second preseason game, oh wait a minute, no, they skip a week. So, you know, if he's not there by that last preseason game, I'll give it that because he would need at least 2 weeks. No, I'm going to say 3 because if he hasn't been working with them, his body got to get used to the rigors of the NFL and then working with your fellow teammates. You know, yes, you could say he's been with them in the past, but you still have to build up the timing and being able to work with each other. So defensively, you talked about Mozzie Smith. Okay, uh, don't forget John Michael Schmitz did go up against Michigan and Mozzie Smith in college. And now I'm not saying he dominated him, but he's familiar with Mozzie Smith. So, you know, he knows what's going on, and they're going to be right there in the trenches together. So, and he's still a rookie. He's still a rookie. He still has to develop. Yes, he has good pieces around him, you know, but he's still a rookie. Oh, and we have probably who was slighted one of, if not the best offensive tackle in the NFL. How the hell did he not make that list? How the hell did Thomas not make the list?
That's total cat, man.
But I'm looking at some of the tackles that are on there, like Laramie Tunsil and all them. I mean, those guys are good, but they're not better than Andrew Thomas. Tristan Wirfs. Come on, man.
Tristan Wirfs.
Give me a break.
Look. They said Tristan Wirfs is going to see a psychologist because he's playing the left side of the offensive line right now. So, but getting back to the point, yes, Neil has to show.
What's good, Kev? Appreciate you coming through, bro.
Neil has to show and improve over last year as a tackle, but everything I'm hearing is he seems to be looking a lot better. And please, ladies and gentlemen, don't go on that damn clip, one little clip where he got beat. Everyone gets beat in the NFL. But getting back to Dallas, okay?
Exactly.
You know, you just paid your safety. What's his name? You paid him $24 million over 3 years, but you don't think you can come up and extend or whatever for Andrew Thomas? I mean, for
Zach Martin.
Zach Martin. Sorry about that. Is there a ripple down effect? And and Jerry Jones. Thank you for the bulletin board material. Thank you. You always have a way, Jerry Jones, of having to put up stuff on the bulletin board for everyone because we them boys. You said they're the cream of the crop. They're the cream of the crap. That's what I call them. They're the cream of the crap, man. Y'all know how I feel about that organization, man, and it's just yes, I detest them. Look, seriously, talent wise, they do have talent, so I'm not gonna keep joking around like that. Yes, I do respect their talent. As a coach, I would go in there and you know what, we have to respect these guys. They have playmakers. Dak Prescott maybe last year was an aberration, and he's going to get back to who he was. So there were times in the past he was. They did bring in what's his name from the Colts as a wide receiver. Dang, why am I?
You said from the Colts.
Yeah,
Brought in Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks. So
Cooks, yeah, they bought
what
him
is he going to
Cooks.
bring? What is he going to bring? They have their other plethora or receivers. Let's not forget about our boy, our boy who they brought in from the USFL. Is he going to step up? Because I'm telling you, I watched him. He's a
Oh,
playmaker.
Turpin.
Yes,
Devontae Turpin,
if you sleep on, don't think just because he's smaller he can't make plays. The kid can make plays, so I'm giving him that respect. But it all starts with the run game, and if they cannot run between the tackles, if they become predictable, saying that you're basically going off tackle to the outside, So now I just read a report that they're still interested in Zeke, which I've been talking about that before. They need some type of inside
yeah.
presence. It's not about the money. It's you just need that physical toughness, and that's what they need to help stabilize, their run game. So, but in due respects, if they can get their run game going, it can help their pass game, especially with play action. But if they
Mhm.
don't, they become one dimensional, and we can push the pocket, especially if you don't have Martin there, or he starts out
Yeah.
slow.
Good luck
You can
blocking
you
Dexter Lawrence.
exactly Dexter and Leo. Leo can
Leo,
take him.
yeah.
So
Hmm. And
and then
Ashawn.
don't. That's the point. Then we have backups who are going to come in and push and wear on him. Because usually
Hmm.
with offensive line, Mac, you know what I'm talking about. An offensive lineman likes to wear on a defensive lineman. That's because later in the game it's
Absolutely.
easier to. But now when the defensive lineman has waves of players, it gets a little bit frustrating because the offensive line is in there all game and they tend to wear down a little bit more while they're fresher. So,
Hmm.
but I'm interested. I want this game badly. Yes, I do. So because it's that team from down south that I wish we could blow up and kick out of the league. So you got it, Matt. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, yeah, I agree, Coach, what you said. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and not acknowledge the talent the Dallas Cowboys have on their roster, man. But at the end of the day, they are the Dallas Cowboys. They always find a way to get in their own damn way. Like you said, Jerry Jones just loves the bulletin board material, man. I could take it back to 2007, man, 2008 year when we went to the Super Bowl, played them in the playoffs. His arrogant ass went and bought plane tickets or tickets for the game for the NFC's championship game. Before
Yeah.
we even played the Giants, like just saying we just gonna roll over them and he'll go tickets for the championship game next week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we just went in there and took it to him. So his arrogance, he just can't help himself, man. But the thing about like a Brandon Cooks addition to this team, Brandon Cooks is a good wide receiver as what we see. He's a quad, but at the same time, you always got to ask the question: why is this guy that's so damn good that at least appears to all of us to be so damn good? Why is he on a new team every single season?
Right.
It's got to be something we don't know about Brandon Cooks. You know what I mean? And it just to me, he's still a guy that ain't like the Giants never played against Brandon Cooks before and stuff like that. So it's not. I'm not. I don't. He doesn't put that fear in my heart that like most people are trying to act like, oh, Brandon Cooks. They got Brandon Cooks now too.
Yeah.
Adding to that, I don't. Look, that doesn't mean he ain't no rookie. He's not some new talent that the league's never seen before. People know what Brandon Cooks is all about. So
Who
I'm
is their
not. I don't weigh
starting?
too much on
Is
that.
Cooks, CD Lamb, and who's the other guys at Gallup?
They still got Michael Gallup. Still, yeah. I believe they still have
Mm-hmm.
Michael Gallup. Yeah.
That don't scare me. I'm sorry.
I
CD,
mean,
you
CeeDee
gotta
Lamb did.
watch. I give CD Lamb is
He
he
emerged
can do
as a top
damage,
receiver last year.
but the rest of them, I
But
ain't scared of them.
But as far as the offensive line stuff too, Zach Martin is an integral piece. He's an intricate big piece for that offensive line, man. I'm not sure if he'll actually end up really truly holding out and going into the season. But at the end of the day, he needs to be in here getting reps with his team during training camp, especially on that offensive line, because offensive line is about continuity, man. And you don't just plug in and step into the offensive line. It has to have a time to gel together, and also he might be out there. I'm sure he's not just sitting on his ass. He's out there. I'm sure keeping himself in good shape overall. But still, it's one thing to be in shape. It's nothing to be in football shape, football conditioning, taking them hits,
right, Kev,
getting those little bumps on you, man. It makes a difference. It makes a difference, So that's also going to be a factor for a guy like him that's in the trenches, So this Dallas Cowboy team, man, I just think. Mike McCarthy, to me, he's laughable as a head coach, in my opinion, man. At this point, man, Aaron Rodgers didn't even want to deal with him anymore. You know what I mean? That's one of the NFL greats. So come on, that's telling you pretty much what you need to know about Mike McCarthy as a head coach, man. His time is. I think this Dallas Cowboy team, man. I think they're just overhyped, overrated. I think the New York Giants definitely take a step over top of them this year. I'm not convinced Dak Prescott has that mental toughness to rebound from what was his worst season as a pro last year. So I'm thinking, I don't know. I just don't know what to expect from this team. Truly, man. I think where everybody wants to hype the Cowboys up because they're the Dallas Cowboys, and every year they're going to the Super Bowl and this, that, and the other. I don't know. I just think that this team is going to fall flat on their face, and they better hope the Commanders don't come up and catch their ass too. So,
And speaking of the Commanders, let's talk about them next. Before I do that, Cowboys 7 are going to be calling for the coach to be fired 2-5. I think this is a good prediction right here. I think they're going to start off slow, and I think, they're going to be last in this division, and people are going to be wanting Mike McCarthy's head because he's trash. He's trash. Aaron Rodgers said the thing you can't hack it was his favorite coach, and not Mike McCarthy, the coach he won a Super Bowl with. That should tell you something. Lou, put the link in the chat. Link is also in the Big Blue Crew Twitter chat. Before we get to that, let's shout out to the sponsor of the show real quick. Let me get a little promo going on real quick, and then we're going to get into Commanders, man, and what's going on with Washington, man? You right.
Shadow Worlds Radio, a radio media outlet. The Read and Attack Show, Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports. Go Travels, the go-to for all your sporting events. Wise Consulting Solutions, the wise choice for a better future. The Big Blue Crew, the best damn sports network on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Again, Ms. Wise.
So, appreciate you coming through, Lou. What's good with you, big bro? Had a hell of a stream last night, man. Leather to the face, man. Shout out to you.
My bad. That echo was
Can
me.
You hear me?
I thought it was you.
Oh, nah. But NFC East talk, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into this Commanders team. The Commandos, the Commanders, whatever you want to call them. We have.
You want to talk about the Commanders when I come on?
What is the expectations for the Commandos, Commanders, condoms, whatever you want to call them? They have changed ownership. They changed. They have new offensive coordinator and Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs. But they're starting Sam Howell at quarterback.
That's better than Carson Wentz.
I guess.
Yeah, Sam Howell's the unknown, though. See, the thing is, I can't really say much because he's the unknown. We don't really know what to truly expect from Sam Howell, honestly. I mean, he showed a couple flashes in his little limited time last season, and now he's had a whole training camp, whole off season to get prepared as the starter, as the QB1. So, really, honestly, I can't really say. It's hard for me to really say much about Sam Howell until I actually start seeing him on the field a little bit more with the weapons. I mean, he's had ups and downs so far during training camp. That's as to be expected, though. Young quarterback getting his first opportunity to be the guy, and I mean, he's got what's been a respected offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, guy in them right now, and at the same time, they've got that dark cloud of Dan Snyder gone, erased from that organization. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
new beginnings in Dallas. I mean, in Washington. So, and they're deep. I'm
If
hearing
Magic, if,
good things
if
about
Magic got
this
anything
defense,
to say
expecting
with
to
it,
be a top defense again.
if
Go
Magic
ahead,
Johnson
Lou.
got anything to say with it, he want to win. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I know one thing: Ron Rivera wants to win too. He's part of that '85 Bears defense that was phenomenal. So both of those guys, you know, I look at it like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. This might be an unpopular opinion. You know,
Hit that like
this is
button.
your thing, but
Hit
I'm
that
gonna have
like
to,
button.
I'm gonna have to jump in on this one. I think Washington is gonna make some real noise this year. I think Philly is gonna regress, and just miss the playoffs because they don't have Miles Sanders no more. They're gonna try to run Jalen Hurts way too much. He's gonna get hurt, and then their season is gonna kind of crumble. That's what I think. So I think Eagles just missed the playoffs. I think Washington and New York will be the ones making
Whew.
real noise in the NFC East this year, and I think Dallas is going to implode. So I think New York and Washington are the ones to watch in the NFC East this year.
That's fire.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's
Lou, I must
That's
fire.
agree.
that's
That is a very
yeah,
unpopular opinion, Lou. I
yeah.
must agree.
And I will have this clip. So when your prediction comes true,
You're
it'll
gonna
be
get all the
clipped.
Yeah,
credit for it.
because
Ready
Nate
for you.
Diaz beat the hell out that boy yesterday, and they robbed him. I don't care what nobody say. Nate Diaz
I think
whooped that
Diaz won the fight too. I think he did. Other than that knockdown, yeah, he was beating on him.
Yeah.
But they're gonna run it back
But
in the cage. So
I
I
will
can't
say
wait to
this
see
right
Nate. I
now.
can't wait to
I
see
will
Nate
say
choke
this
this
about
guy.
Washington right now is in doing my research, they're having problems on their offensive line. They can't
mm,
block. They can't block their defensive line. They
mm.
even talked about a situation where um,
Don't they
Sam
got Nick
Howell,
Gates?
yeah, they got Gates over there, but they just can't seem to block. And the way they phrased it is Washington's all world front seven could not handle. I'm sorry, Washington's offensive line could not handle their all world front seven. So, and you have a new coordinator over there, so he's under the fire. He's under a lot of pressure. And then, look, you
Mm,
got Sam Howell. There's going to be questions about him because he's not, May, who's coming out of North Carolina, So, there are those questions, but, if Blue is right, that'll be amazing. But again,
It'd be interesting.
What's
Washington,
good, AK?
Washington
What's up with you,
fans,
bro? Appreciate
Washington
you coming
fans
through.
right now, to be honest with you, not the delusional ones that we've seen in a lot of the spaces. The ones that I all know, and there's quite a few. I've coached quite a few. They all say the same thing. Right now, this season is a pass. They just want to
Mm,
see an organization that is developed, and they want to get away from the negative perception and the toilet
mm.
bowl thoughts of that organization. Yeah, pun intended. Toilet bowl. So but that's what meant that's what the ones that I know have been thinking and saying is because of all the years of dysfunction and bad ownership and all the problems and missed opportunities when you did have certain talented players there, so I mean we'll see what happens, if Lou's prediction comes to fruition, man.
I tell you what,
That'd be
that
one hell
toilet
of a
bowl,
year if it did.
that toilet bowl comment. They might need to go get Mike Glennon to make that toilet bowl complete.
He ain't nowhere to be found, man. He took his money
um,
and ran.
He went
Philly
to
halftime says we have
he went
Swift.
to
You guys couldn't stop him. Talking about um, what's his name? Deontay.
Philly.
DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift. Yeah, DeAndre Swift. That they got from the Lions. Is he
We played
better
a
than Miles
bad game.
Sanders?
We played a
I
bad game that day too.
Yeah.
So don't just think just because you got one player and it's one player. I mean,
Mm.
you lost your right guard. I'm telling you, losing a
He had
right guard in
Saquon
the
Barkley
run
in the
game is a
O-line. You saw that
big thing, man. It's a big thing. So,
one.
we
Hey,
respect Philly. I respect them. I respect what they did last year. I respect a lot of their talent. I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't have talent, but don't think it's just going to be a cakewalk now, bro. Don't. Go ahead,
Yeah, it
Los.
don't always translate either. It don't always just translate over. You know, what I mean, I know he's been with the team most of the off season basically because the trade happened during the draft. But at the same time,
Mm,
but at the same time, man, it's still all new to him around. I mean, granted, I know he's from the area, he's a local kid, all that good stuff.
hmm
Nice little story, yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, he's getting used to a new team, new surroundings, new things, new teammates. It all has to come together, man. And we don't know that yet. For
You
sure.
could be a
Plus,
good
is he comfortable with the Eagles' way, man? The Eagles definitely don't commit to any one running back. There's gonna be, gonna be getting all
hmm
everybody throwing everybody at you. So is he comfortable? Is he really truly gonna be comfortable with that type of a system?
Is
Because I believe he's the type of guy that
that little
needs to get
smug
going, needs
running
to
back?
carries to get going.
They still got
With
him.
a giant
Just
killer,
a little,
Boston Scott, he is still on the team. I think
little
they keep
hmm
him on.
bastard. Ah,
They keep him on the
man.
team just to, when they play us, man. I believe, man.
somebody
I feel
kidnapped
like
that
that.
little mug.
That dude, that running back they got can be good, but as we all know, we have an elite running back on the New York Football Giants, and if your O line ain't on the same page, it's gonna make it hard for no matter who it is back there as a running back. Same thing as a quarterback. If your quarterback is decent, but that O line ain't blocking, your quarterback gonna look like trash. So there's a lot of pieces that have to come together as they do for any team. It's 11 men on the field at any given time, and they all have to be on the same page. What I think is Philly's coach can't match wits with my coach, and that's how I see it. So um, he got lucky last year. They went to the Super Bowl. We all know how hard it is to repeat, and now you don't have your workhorse. So you're gonna use your quarterback a little too much. You like his RPO, you like his legs, you like the way it looked last year. You're gonna try to dip into the jar again, and this time you might get bit by something. So the injury bug that is.
All
Well,
right,
another
couple
thing I added that
questions.
real quick. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to add something to that real quick. I mean, defensive coordinators don't exactly sit on their hands sleeping all offseason either.
Right.
Everybody got the tape on the Philadelphia Eagles last year, so guys are up trying to figure out ways to stop that offense, slow that offense down. And trust me, they usually a lot of guys figure it out a little bit. So it's not going to be quite as simple and easy as they made it look last year.
Shelton says, and I want to kick this comment over to Coach. He deals with the offensive schemes. Will Washington have similar offensive schemes to ours, considering Eric Bieniemy and Kafka came from Kansas City? And Breezy says, heard
Well,
the Giants
Kafka's
got a
not in
receiver
Washington though.
faster than Tyreek Hill. He's talking about the scheme, though. Would they have a similar scheme than ours, seeing that they came from the same system? Heard the Giants got a receiver faster than Tyreek Hill at the combine. Exactly. And his name is Jalen Hyatt. Book and put it in the chat, man. He's at 24 miles an hour. I think Tyreek Hill got clocked at like 22 and some change. But go ahead, Coach, man. What do you think about the scheme that the Commanders may have, considering Eric Bieniemy and Kafka both came from Kansas City?
There may be some similar concepts, but I can't sit here and say full schemes because the foundational point is still going to be Dables. So, is there going to be some influences from Kafka? Yeah, of course. He's the play caller, but Dable is a former offensive play caller. It's still going to be about a lot of what he's looking for offensively, and then you go based off of that. Eric Bieniemy, yes, he's bringing some of those influences from Kansas City, but he's also going to look at the pieces that they have over there and he's going to work off of that. So, it is a little bit different, but can I see some concepts in there? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, Throughout the whole NFL, I mean, everyone pretty much, 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 21 personnel. What do you run? Do you run smash routes? Hammer, dagger, things of that nature. Do you run stick routes, sit routes? I mean, they all have that in there. It's just, the play callers, they may design certain things. They're going to look at the defense eventually, and they're going to say this is how I'm going to attack it. So, but are there going to be similarities with certain plays and concepts? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I see it. But our offense is going to be vastly different because our number one option in the pass game is Darren Waller, while theirs is on McLaurin. So I
McLaurin.
think it's going to be a lot. It's going to be different there. So
Their tight end is good too, but he can't stay
yeah,
healthy. His name
yeah,
is Jordan Reed.
yeah.
Yo, you click on
I
this
mean,
comment,
those.
halftime's comment. Your coach got beat three times, three times. See, here's the difference though. It wasn't a coaching thing. It wasn't Brian Dable getting flat out coached. That's just the talent is
Mm-hmm.
just not even comparable. That's
Mm-hmm.
just the flat out talent not being comparable. I mean, look at that last game of the season. We had our backups in, and we went toe to toe with your starters. That game, if we played our starters, we probably would have kicked y'all ass in that game, that last game of
Hmm.
the season. So that's like this just because y'all played a sluggish sloppy game. I'm not knocking the Eagles or what they did last year, how great the season they had last year, but the reality is this was a far more talented football
Mm-hmm.
team. I mean, it's just not even comparable. I think it wouldn't have mattered who the coaches were. That Eagles are just a flat out better football team last year, and
And
I don't think it had anything. I don't think that had anything to do with the coaches.
look, the talent gap is starting to close. No matter
And
what
one
you
could
say and how you
and one
feel.
could argue
Yeah.
too that it was more of the coordinators than your coach. I think it was more of the coordinators. Both of them coordinators got head coaching jobs. So you losing your coordinators, I think it was more about the coordinators than that coach. Nick Sirianni, I don't trust Nick Sirianni. I think he's better than Mike McCarthy. That's about all I give him credit for. I don't think he's a good coach. We'll see. You guys have talent. Sometimes talent wins despite of coaching, and I think that's what happened to Philadelphia last year. But it's my
Mm-hmm.
unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's no question you're one of the most talented teams in the league. I mean, there's just no question about that. So
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah, definitely don't think it's because of the coaching. But when the talent is close, like it is now, then the coaching becomes a key. And definitely, man, I think we have the better coaching all across the
Hmm.
board,
Pat,
from
hard at
even
work.
special teams. You know
I
what I'm
think what he
saying?
was able to accomplish with that team last year, with that roster a year ago, proves how good a coach he is. Because I mean, a lot of coaches would have been like what 2 and 3 and whatever with that roster, man. A year ago, that New York Giants, half those guys on the New York Giants last year are bagging groceries now, man. Like that's just a
Yeah,
reality, bro.
yeah.
That's,
I
we
think
put
we're
out there
there,
pretty much a
Philly.
JV team.
I think we're there, Philly halftime, and we talked about this. I think on our last show last week about the NFC. I mean, who is it? Detroit? Are you buying into Detroit? Are you buying Seattle stock? Anybody afraid of the Rams? Anybody afraid of any team in the NFC South? Whether it's the Carolina Panthers or the Saints? Really, this season comes down to this division. That's why we're having the NFC East talk today. Because when I got to thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, outside of the 49ers, you could say the Vikings, you maybe say the Seahawks, maybe Detroit. I don't feel that way. Our
Mm.
competition is in this division. And if we're able to beat Philly and sweep Dallas, I think we split with Philly. I think we split with y'all. I think we kicking the Cowboys' ass this year, honestly. I agree with Lou. They're gonna implode. It just it's there. It's the writing's on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Washington's a sneaky team. You can't never count them out. But with Philly is just I think you guys are buying into your own hype a little bit.
I'm going to say this, Philly. Philly, I
And there's
love you,
always a
bro.
Super Bowl hangover. Remember that.
Philly, I'm going to say this, bro. You are exhibiting overconfidence and arrogance. And that is the biggest way to beat any organization, empire, however you want to categorize it. That's the biggest way, man. You know, to exhibit those type of characteristics because it also fuels the fire. Because as a coach, I see that type of, I'm like, okay, fine, I'm ready to show you. And next thing you know, mentally, your guys start to break because that goes back into your coordinators. Your head coach is not in he may step into those meeting rooms He may give his point of views, but he's not there all the time. And that's who is really the key point, the key coach in any side of the ball. And to lose both, that's why when if you lose one, the head coach can be there a little bit more to help because the other side they have a sense of continuity. You lost both, man. That's something that you really have to, and I don't think you guys are really understanding the magnitude of that. That's a big thing because that puts it now on your head coach to make sure that you know what I got to keep the team together. So to me, it's
Breezy
going to be
says, I seen an interesting
Absolutely.
stat saying Danny Jones has the highest 10-yard completion rate. Could elite tight ends help your offense with the new rules? Tight ends are more dangerous with the play action. And he says, who is the best play action calling team? I'm guessing out the NFC or the NFC East. Coach, I'm gonna kick this one over to you, but I'm just gonna comment real quick on the Giants and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones having Darren Waller as a tight end, Breezy, is definitely gonna elevate his game. It elevates the whole team because it opens up the think about it like this. Think about having a superstar in basketball. He's a basketball content creator, so I'm gonna put it in basketball terms. Think about having a guy like KD on your team or Steph Curry and how the defense has to account for that. So eyes are focusing more on that player, which opens up everything else around them. You see what I'm saying? And so that way, Daniel Jones being the quarterback, aka the point guard, he can just sit back and be comfortable and just find the open man instead of forcing it because he's covered all the time. If that
Put those
makes
lights
sense.
up, guys.
If that makes sense. So definitely, man, I definitely think the tight end having Darren Waller is definitely going to increase Daniel Jones's completion percentage and his touchdown percentage, touchdown to interception ratio. But coach, kick it over to you. What are your thoughts on who has the best play action team as far as play calling is concerned?
if we're talking just the NFC as a whole conference,
Yeah, let's just keep it NFC.
I have to go San Francisco.
I agree,
I
thousand
have to
percent.
go
I agree. Yeah.
San Francisco, man, because and Purdy, he seems to be the key, and that's the thing that people don't know about Purdy. Like I watched him at Iowa State. He had Brees Hall, and that's what Brees Hall helped open up the pass game for them, and
He did.
that he knows he masters the play action. He's very good at it, and when you have Christian McCaffrey back there, it does open up your run game. And then the way they use Debo Samuel's. I mean, that's why their offense is just like wow. And it could just take any quarterback, but you take the last pick in the NFL draft and make him one of the better quarterbacks in the league. So it has to be him. If I was going to go the NFC East, it's Philly. It's Philly. Yeah, we have probably
So
the
you
more
fired.
dynamic run. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said you fired, man. You
No,
are
I'm not.
fired, man.
No, no, no. I'm being brutally honest. And I'm being a coach right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm being a coach. And because of how they use it, I mean that's they do use the RPO a lot, and the run action, moving the quarterback, and then that's what getting to the wide receivers. It's not like all they do is just throw deep nine routes all the way, and their receivers just go get the football. I mean, they have windows that opens up because of the run action. So and they're good at it. Now, if you were talking about because of a dynamic playmaker in the backfield, of course it's the Giants. Eyes are going to be on the Giants, and then once Waller is there, and that's the thing, we do have to show it on the field, and that's what many of us in the Giants nation are focused on because we have Waller, we have Campbell now. Shep is starting to show something. I mean, we have Hyatt. I mean, we have the pieces now, but we just have to go out there and we have to put it on the field. That's ultimately what it boils down to. Once we do it, Do I think it can change the whole outcome of what I just said? Yeah, yeah. But bottom line is we have to produce. So and we all believe it. I believe it. 13-4, 4-2 in the division. That's what I'm standing by. So but in terms of play action, that's what I think. So
Okay, I know this ain't my show, but I got a question for you. So this year, what do you guys expect to see at a Kayvon Thibodeau?
Hmm. Good question. Good question.
that
I answer that. I expect Kayvon Thibodeau to be one of those guys that commands double teams. I expect him to basically. I don't want to kind of put a sack number there particularly, but his pressure should be up and
mhm.
his sacks should be up and his QB hurries and QB hits should be up. You know what I'm saying? We want to see everything improve. I don't need him to have 15 sacks. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see that in constant improvement. You know what I'm saying? Because you got guys on this defensive line to worry about: Leo, Dex, Aziz. So Kayvon Thibodeau should get some favorable matchups to where he should be able to, dominate and show why he was the fifth overall pick.
So if
I
nothing
have
else,
high,
you basically say you want to see him be disruptive. You don't gotta have
mm-hmm,
15 sacks, but get back
yes,
there, make the quarterback move off his mark, make
mm-hmm,
him throw force throws earlier than he wants him to be. Just be disruptive, be a force back there.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
that
exactly,
that
Yeah, I
that
mean, I
exactly.
think
that
he said it
when
best himself.
go
I
ahead,
mean, he
man.
said it best himself when they were talking to him in training camp. I mean, last week, one day they were talking to him on NFL Network, whatever. And in our eyes, he had a pretty solid overall rookie year. I mean, not nothing great, spectacular, obviously, but solid for a rookie in the rookie campaign. But in his eyes, he thought he was embarrassed watching the tape. He said, like, that to me tells me about this guy that he knows he needs to go out there and still keep working and get better. And I think he will. And I mean, I think he is going to hit that double digit mark. I think he's going to hit at least that 10 or 11 range in sacks this year, honestly. Not saying he necessarily has to, but I think he is going to because that's the talent he brings to the table. And if him and Aziz can both stay healthy all year, that's definitely going to have an impact on offensive lines. I mean, here's the thing in reality. You got to remember is Kayvon Thibodeau last year got off to a slow start because he got hurt during the preseason. So people kind of
Yep.
forget that as well. So he didn't really have a chance to get his engine going until about week 4 or 5 or so. And then you started seeing him slowly making some plays. And then late in the season, he did become that disruptor that you guys are talking about in the chat right now. He became an absolute disruptor. That Washington game, Kayvon Thibodeau wrecked that game. That that
Yeah.
that's that Sunday night
He
game
was
against
dominant.
Washington. He was the game wrecker, absolutely in that game. So I think we're going to see more plays like that. And the Kayvon Thibodeau is a star, man. He's gonna prove it this year.
You guys hit it
Coach.
on you hit it perfectly. Being disruptive. There's one thing as a coach that I've always tracked when I was either head coach or a DC, and it is the pressures, but it's the pressures, the quarterback hits, the sacks. How many turnovers did that create? Because that's a bit. I'm a big proponent of turnovers. That's why I'm more on hits and pressures than I am sacks. I know the average fan is about sacks. It's beautiful. We think about LT, but I look at the results. Does all of that create turnovers? Always remember one thing: when you think of
Hits,
Sam Darnold,
pressures, and hurries cause more
yes,
turnovers than sacks.
turnovers
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
exactly. So remember Sam Darnold. What was the one thing he was known for that people clowned him on? I'm seeing ghosts. What
Ghost.
that
Yeah.
tells you, what that means is he's looking at the pass rush. He's not focused on downfield. He sees the pass rush, and that's going to force a quarterback to cause turnovers. Like we're saying, he's going to rush. He's not going to let the receiver fully get open. He's going to try and get it there, hoping that it gets there. But the ball may be put in a way that our defensive backs can attack the ball and take and cause a turnover, an interception, or with a sack, how many sack fumbles do we cause? Those are things that I like to see. And do we get the ball off of that? That's
Pass,
that's what's most important. And I've always tracked that, always. And I think most NFL coaches do too. It's just that that's something that's not put out there to the general public because most fans are not really going to care about that, or they're not going to understand that. But if your quarterback is rushing the ball, even if we got a deflection on that ball because he rushed it, that's telling you the pressure is getting there, and we have the opportunity to get our hands on the ball. Go ahead, Lou.
And that is exactly the type of defense that Wink Martindale ran in
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
His guys up front would pressure you, hurry you, force errant throws, and his DBs would pick six or intercept, or it was that's exactly the type of style of defense that Wink is known for. And that's, if you look at our draft picks, you look at our free agents, you look at our DB group, and you look at that front line that we've assembled on defense now with Nunez, Roches, um, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Aziz, Thibodeau, uh, DJ Davison, Jordan Riley. That defensive
Sean.
front was designed to pressure the quarterback and force him to throw errant throws or throw him off his mark or throw him earlier than he wants him to. And that DB group is there to catch all strays. So we might have a
Also,
high interception rate this year with not many sacks.
and see that the other thing about being a disruptive defense, all right, it kills the offensive drives. They may be driving and they get close to the red zone, and we take a red zone opportunity away. If we cause a turnover and our offense in a short field, now that helps our offense. So, and that's why it's important that our defense really elevate and push, because one hand washes the other. Offensively, if you're driving and you're chewing up time on the clock, your defense gets fresh. On the other side, defensively, if you're out there getting 3-and-outs, that allows your offense to get back out there. You're getting turnovers, putting us in a short field. That allows us to get scoring opportunities. Because look, if they started with the ball and we get a turnover, we go score a point, we're now +1. This is how I've always looked at it.
Because we
We're
come
plus
out of
one.
halftime with the ball.
Exactly. So, and you look at those things, we've taken away an opportunity for them to score, but we went down and scored, even if it's 3 points, or defensively, if we get a safety, we scored points and you didn't get the opportunity. Those are things that the average fan doesn't look at. But as a coach, I do. Coaches, we track all of that. We pay attention to all of that. And that's why, to the average fan, sometimes you got to look at those things. You got to look at those, and you have to understand, the importance of, and not just say we want a sack. Yeah, sacks are great. Sack numbers are great. But when do they come? Because I always say this: you can have 2nd and 6 and get a sack and put them at 3rd and 11. But if they pick up first down, what did that sack really do? What did that sack? It was nice, it was great, but they still converted and made a first down.
Just
So
kept the
now,
defense on the
if
field
you're
long.
saying the sack is, you get the sack on 3rd down and force them to punt, then it's a little bit more important. I get it. I get it. So, and please, I play defensive line, so don't think I don't like sacks. I like sacks too, but I'm more of I want to hit the quarterback. I want to get into his head. I want to see his eyes come down looking at me. I want to see his eyes get big because he's worrying about the hit. They're not worrying about, playing football. So, unless you're a damn Tom. Well, no,
I
Tom
was
Brady was like that.
I was in the stadium for the Panthers game last
Mhm.
year when they started Baker Mayfield, and I seen exactly what you guys are talking about. He didn't get sacked a lot, if you remember that game, but there was so much pressure, and you could see him just
Mhm.
airmailing receivers all day. I'll tell you another thing, Coach. Batted passes at
Mhm.
the line of scrimmage are something that definitely can get into a quarterback's head, and it can
Mhm.
definitely cause mistakes. You get a tip pass up in the air, boom, interception. We see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they're pick sixes because they're caught by the D line, and they usually have a clear path to the end zone. So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, totally agree with everything you said. You and Lou both, man. Good shit, y'all. But that being said, we've been on here 2 hours. Like
You
I
have.
said, Yeah, I have. But yeah, so it's about that time, man. To get the rest of the day going, man. But I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming through. Make sure you go sub to everybody on the show. We are the Big Blue Crew. My man Lou, my man Mac the Giants fan, my bro Coach Ed. You know what I'm saying? All have their own YouTube channels. All do excellent content creation. We all have different styles. Lou, excellent with the boxing, man. Love that. Leather to the face, man. I've been trying to come on your streams more, man. Learn some more about boxing, man. This guy's he knows his stuff when it comes to boxing. I could say the same thing with Mac in the wrestling, man. Excellent content creator there. Of course, man. SummerSlam, was it, Mac, that you just did?
Yeah, last night, SummerSlam last night. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
I was caught between
back and
calling
forth,
the fight and my son running in the room, letting me know who winning SummerSlam because he was in the living room watching it. He come in and Logan Paul won. He's getting on a plane. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Max said he showed up in his dirty, sweaty wrestling outfit.
He showed up to the fight with his same wrestling outfit on, covered in sweat.
Yeah, take a shower, man. Come on, man. Raunchy.
Step the game up.
You ain't even gonna wash your ass. Come on, man. And of course, man, my man Coach, man, always dialed into college sports, man. I seen one of your articles you sent me, like what if the NFL did that realigning thing. We're gonna bring that up.
A lot of realigning going on, Coach.
We're gonna talk about
Big 12. I mean, the Pac-12. The Pac-12 barely exists anymore.
Yeah, I broke all that. I broke all that down. It'll be coming out Wednesday. That's why I was late. I was up late doing my show. So
you told me yesterday when we spoke you was gonna be doing your thing or whatever, man. So
I jived in, but yeah. If you read that article, man, you guys, if you saw it, it's just all I gotta say is for traditionalists, you're not gonna like it, but some of the changes, some of them I was like, some of the other ones I was like, nah, but I will just say, as Giants fans, we wouldn't like it. That's all I can say. we won't like it. So,
but as a college fan, you finally get to see some teams play each other that would have never played.
No. That's not what he's talking about. They had an article that if they did realignment in the NFL, they changed it to more of a local or regional concept.
Trying to put teams in the same
location.
Geographical location.
So you can almost figure out who the Giants were going to be playing just by me saying that. So it's just like who their division opponents were going to be. So and I will just say this: the Giants ended up in the AFC East. If that gives you a little indication.
Oh hell no! That wouldn't even be natural.
But based on the thought, the premise, because of all the travel and, how it is, I get it. I understand. The only division that stayed the same was the NFC North. Every other division was changed. Every other division. So,
Green Bay, Detroit, they all in the same.
Yeah, Minnesota, and they're all pretty much
in them cold weather states. Yeah,
we'll talk about it later.
We'll tap into that on Tuesday on Heart of the City. But so tune into that, man.
No.
He said no.
It was up to me. I said bring the Arizona Cardinals back to the NFC East so we can whoop their ass some more.
Man,
remember when they was in our division?
Yeah, when it was before it was only 3 divisions in each conference. When they had it was the NFC East, Central, and West.
So, I mean, but hey, I get it. I understand. So, the article, like I said, it was, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll bring that up Tuesday, man. Of course, with all things New York City sports, man, as we do Heart of the City, man. Tune in Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. with myself, Coach Ed, man. And of course, man, Big Blue Crew, man. We always in the building, man. So appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button, man. Trying to get these numbers up, man. Help your boy out, man, so we can grow this show, man, and we can do bigger and better things, man. But
I gotta get that.
until next time, y'all. Peace.
This is a Big Blue Crew production.